Speaker number 2, the qualities of an American leader. The qualities of an American leader, speaker number 2.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. We have all heard these words, stated by John F. Kennedy in his inaugural address. These words embody the essence of American patriotism, loyalty, and leadership. Today, our sight is often obscured by great men and women whose singular deeds have made them legendary. George Washington, Andrew Jackson, Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, and Ronald Reagan. These and others, CEOs, news hosts, presidents, and countless others dominate our view of what it means to be an American leader. Too often we forget the man next door, Sergeant John across the way, or Mr. Brown and his group who sit at the bar Friday evening arguing over the failing economy or the latest increase of their income tax. And, after a few drinks, damning the hell out of the guys over in Washington or Olympia. While we pay respect to our great men, we should never forget who they were and what makes them the icons of the American leader. What our Sergeant John, Mr. Brown, and other great American leaders strove for is simple and can be summed up in their words. Judge Chamberlain interviewed Captain Preston, a Revolutionary War veteran, to find what animated the hearts of those who threw off the British yoke. Did you take up arms against oppression? A negative answer. Was it the Stamp Act? Preston replied he had never seen one of those stamps. Was it the tea tax? Again, a negative response. Why then did you fight? To this, the aged veteran replied, young man, what we meant in going for those redcoats was this. We had always governed ourselves, and we always meant to. They didn't mean we should. The cause for which they fought was the right to be free, to govern themselves. What makes these great men and women who organized the people, inspired them to a just cause, and kindled the flame of liberty, true icons of the American leader, was the will to do what was right, in spite of all that arose to oppose them. These past months and years, we have heard of multiple derelictions of leadership, incompetence, and even what might at best be called folly or negligence, and at worst, treasonous. To name just a few, the attempted Christmas bombing and failure of U.S. security, the upcoming trial of terrorists caught in the very web of their own schemes, reckless spending of public money, which is spinning us ever closer to financial disaster, and the propagation of the idea that the stability of a socialist-style government is preferable to the uncertainty of entrepreneurship and the spirit our forefathers exhibited in standing against oppression. Now, you tell me whether this be treason or whether it is simply the product of foolish and unrealistic minds. If the latter, which I personally find hard to believe, why are these men still in office? If the former, I shudder to think. Are the qualities our leaders have shown and exhibited the virtues of our great American leaders? What are the virtues that make a good American leader? To find such an example, one need look no further than the father of this country, George Washington. From the beginning, he exhibited the virtues of a great man, persevering on to meet with Indian tribes, leading his men into battle without regard for his own life, speaking against injustice, and continuing to carry on through the times that will try men's souls, as revolutionary writer Thomas Paine put it. Later, having won the Revolution, Washington stayed true to his principles and, like Cincinnatus, a general of ancient Rome who saved his country and was offered the crown, laid aside his power for what he believed was right. The great men and women who built this country did not invest their time, talents, and fortunes that this great experiment might fail. They did not entrust us with this pearl of great price that we might pawn it for whatever pitiful temporary gain we might make. Mother Teresa, the woman who truly lived it all, stated, "Do not wait for leaders. You be a leader." Emulate the examples of the great American leaders. Let your representatives know that you wish to remain in control of your own decisions. Get involved, learning and educating others of that which is sweetest, liberty, and the inalienable rights of man. And most importantly, let those who had trampled this nation into the dust know this, that we, the people of the United States of America, still watch those ramparts, and that Star-Spangled Banner still waves over a free people.